Oh, yeah. Hey, I want to welcome everyone to the Google Hangout today. My name is Setema Gali, and I am the man who loves his life. My name is Setema Gali, and I am the man who loves his life, the Reverend of the Revolution, welcoming you to today's Google Hangout. Now, here's the thing today. So last week I gave Google Hangout, and you can go to the page where this is being hosted, and directly beneath it was the Hangout we did last week. It was basically my story of how I went from Super Bowl champ, sell the ring, or Super Bowl champ, come home and broke, then go and live with mom in her basement, then go and build a mortgage empire, and then make a lot of money and have cars and homes and contribution. And then I make some poor choices and get caught up in the whole mortgage bubble burst and find myself depressed and discouraged and on government assistance, wondering how my life could have changed so drastically and so fast. And then it also went to jumping on the doors as a door-to-door salesman, because you would have thought that selling my Super Bowl ring would have been a wake-up call. But it wasn't quite the wake-up call that I needed, because I still fooled around and screwed around and trying to build this awesome business, doing it the cheap route. It's like a doctor said, hey, I don't need to go to and pay all that money. I'm just going to watch YouTube videos and read books and go to masterminds and without having to really do the work that's required for him. So what ends up happening is really, really simple. I go knock doors, make a lot of money, come home, and then the voice speaks to me and says, hey, Setema, it's time to move on. It's time to get off the freeway of the current path that I was currently on. And what ended up happening then turned out to be something that I never, ever thought would have been like, this is my path. And what happened ended up being, well, I walked away. I walked away from the incredible job that I had to do something that I felt called to do, which was preach a message, liberate men and women, help people to free themselves from bondage, whether that was bondage in their relationships, bondage in money, bondage in everything that they were doing, and something radically shifted in my mind. So today's training is going to focus on the power rituals that I use every single day. And I always talk about having power and certainty, because when you have power and certainty, you can perform at peak levels or high levels. When you perform at high levels, and not just on the sports field, on the basketball court, but in the game of life, it allows you to produce so much power, results. It allows you to get done in 3 hours what would take you normally 24 or 48 hours to do, because you're in your power. So the purpose of the Google Hangout today is really, really simple. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to share with you my experiences, and I'm going to answer questions here towards the end. And hopefully I'm going to answer all your questions through the training today. So here goes. I want you to understand that athletes have rituals that they do when they step up to the free throw line, and athletes have routines. Well, business owners, like athletes, should have these similar routines and rituals, but something happens as you get older and you get into the quote-unquote rut of life, and something happens when you start having kids and bills and you get married and life kind of beats on you. You lose your power. And you begin to be the zombie that you wake up, and this is what happens. You wake up and you're like, hit your alarm, and then you check your phone and you check your emails, and you sit there and you're like, oh man, if only life were better, if only I had more. Well, I would propose and have you consider the possibility that if you put these daily rituals and rhythms and routines in your life today, right now, it would create favorable conditions that would allow you to access power so you could perform with power. Have certainty when you show up on your sales calls or on your sales meetings or in your training meetings or as a parent, even in the gym. You know as well as I do, there's some days when you go work out and it's just, oh, I was working, it was awesome. And some days when you just show up and if you could just get through it, you'd be happy. Well, today, let's dive into these rituals. So I want you to think back to in the Old Testament. Let me take my hat off here. Shoot. In the Old Testament, there's a story about a man by the name of Moses. And Moses climbs this mountain. And Moses, at the top of the mountain, has a conversation with God. And Moses is glorified and has this power and this vision. And then he walks down the mountain in power. I would have you consider every single day that you wake up, what would your day look like if, when you woke up, you had this climbing the mountain experience where you began to increase your power and certainty every single day. I want you to consider and picture that. Every single morning that I wake up, if I can do these specific climbing the mountain experiences so that I begin my day in the tops of the mountains with power and clarity and vision and purpose, now my recruiting, my selling, my building, my marketing, my marriage, my children, my workout, everything that I attempt to do that day is powerful because I climbed the mountain. So people are like, well, Setema, what do you do for your daily rituals? Well, this is what I do. I call them my rituals, my routines, and my rhythms. So check out the little smiley face right there. Smile right now, have a good time, because this is good stuff. This is life. First thing I want you to understand is it's evolved over the years into what I call my core four. I know that if I could hit my core four every single day, I have power. And if this is unusual or different for you, well, try it on. Here we go. First thing is, did I sweat today? See, the body needs to be activated. Imagine that you've been sleeping all night, asleep, tired. Maybe you've got a sick child you got to walk and he's got a fever and you're like, oh man, you're giving him ibuprofen. Maybe you've had a long day at work or you had rejections at work in your sales. And so you go to sleep and your body is falling into the slumber. When you wake up, there's a difference in waking up and just going about your day in zombie mode, or you can wake up. So did I sweat? My core four is I have to engage my body. This could come in the form of push-ups and sit-ups, air squats, burpees, CrossFit, speed training, the elliptical, the treadmill, a walk. For some of you, a brisk walk is going to be a lot more than you've ever done. For some of you, the same old is not working, so you've got to shift it up. So the first question of core four is what I call the body component. Wake your body up. The body's component's going to come in two factors. Number one is my workout. Number two, my nutrition. Workout and nutrition are not negotiable. If you want to have power, this is going to be the first part of your core four, what I also call my daily power rituals, rhythms, and routines. So when I get up in the morning, I know I'm going to schedule a time to hit the gym. If it's, I'll hit the gym sometime in the day, or maybe between this block, that's like saying, you know, maybe I'll go take my wife out on a date, or maybe I'll go make the phone calls if I feel like it and if I have time. If you're not scheduling into your calendar, hey, got my calendar here on my phone, then obviously you're not going to do it. So first part is core four, get your workout in, activate your body, wake it up. Endorphins from a scientific point of view, breathing, having the heart rate rise, getting up to 130, 150 beats per minute, and sometimes for some of you crazy guys out there, you're going to get up to like 170, 180. Did you sweat today? Did you sweat today? Now, have you considered there's a big difference in doing it in the morning, and some people will say, well, Setema, I work at like 7, and what's your point? Get up at 5 o'clock. I see my man T-Flex, all my boys here in Utah, 5 a.m., clockwork. When I get up and I can literally do my stuff and check their videos out, they were there at 5 a.m. So that's the first component, where you exercise every single day. This is a must, not negotiable. So first question, did you sweat? And I'm going to be repetitive because oftentimes we hear things and someone says the same thing over and over and over again, and then they say it in just a slightly different way and impacts us. So that's the first, okay? Now, nutrition, For me, it's just simply a green smoothie. I drink a 64 ounce of green smoothie every day. My green smoothie, I can post it on this. It's also on my Facebook page, but 10-ounce bag of spinach. I put it in. I got a Blendtec and a Vitamix, so I just alternate, blenders. It's frozen, so I put it in my blender. I crunch it down with my fist, so it's packed tight. Because it's frozen, it just squeezes. I then go and fill it up with water. So if this is my blender and my spinach is right here, the water fills up to right there. Throw in about 12 frozen strawberries, a handful of frozen blueberries. I slice 2 apples with my little apple slicer. Throw that in there. Throw in a banana. Throw in a half can of frozen orange concentrate, and then blend it up. And some days I'll put in flaxseed, kale, avocado. Like, you can start to mix this bad boy up in it. But obviously you've got to have a pretty good blender when you're packing that much stuff in there. That's why I use Vitamix or Blendtec. And this show is not sponsored by Vitamix or Blendtec. But have both of those, blend it up, and I'll drink that, and it'll take me about 20 minutes to 25 minutes. Now, a lot of people are like, well, Setema, why don't you eat more strict? And that's too much sugar and blah, 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 blah. This is what I found. If I want to look like a bodybuilder or go into physique competition, I'm going to get super strict. For me, my goal is to be active and healthy. Why? Because when I'm active and healthy in my body and I'm sweating and I'm literally using the bathroom regularly and hydrated, I perform at the level that I want to perform at, which is having it all with my wife and my boys, having the patience after a long day to come home and give my boys and my wife what they need. I can show up in my conversations online or on the phone, or when I step on stage to speak, I want to feel great. So that's why I do what I do. Now, this is called addition, or multiplication and addition. Instead of trying to strip all the sodas and sugars and pizzas out, what I found is by drinking my green smoothie every single day, something happened. And what happened was I naturally began to lose my cravings for the sugars. I got enough sugar with my fruit, and then all that spinach and the green and the avocado, getting my good fats in there. And I carry around water bottles like this, and I drink these through the day. So by doing this, I stay hydrated, and I don't need to go get a soda because I'm hydrated. So did you sweat today? Exercise in the morning. If you work at 7 a.m., well, you need to have to get exercise at 5. If for me, I'll work out right about 8:15 with my trainer. That's the time that works for me. And then I'll oftentimes go to the gym at night to get some extra cardio in because I'm striving to strip the weight off. That's the first component. Will you do that? Will you make it work in your life? And I love the green smoothie. It's easy. I can track it. I can say, check, I exercised, sweated. Check, I drank my green smoothie. Then obviously I know that I'm going to eat about every 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm going to have chicken breast. I'm going to have asparagus and salad. And I don't get too crazy because I want energy. This is a lifestyle. This is a way of being to give you power. Now, I know this may sound like a lot, and this is just the first component, but there's a great quote that says, that which we persist in doing becomes easier. Not that the nature of the task has changed, but our power and capacity to do so has increased. So first part is, did you sweat? That's your body, that's your nutrition. And if you do this every single day, you will begin to see results that most people will never see because they never do it consistently every single day. Okay, second component is this. Once I got that, I go then into what I call my being. Did you connect? First one, did you sweat? Second one, did you connect? Connecting is two things. I study scriptures on my phone or scriptures in my car or Holy Writ, whether it's the Book of Mormon, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, which I'm studying right now, or Holy Works. I've got the Purpose-Driven Life in here somewhere. I got a book called The Peace Giver. It's just different works of spirituality, purpose, meaning. There's books by Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer, and I could give you a whole list of authors, but this is a 30-minute study of spiritual and meaning and higher purpose work. And then it's also, so there's two parts. So let me go back to number one. I'm going to be repetitive because repetition is the mother of learning. So first one is, did you sweat? exercise, and green smoothie for me, my nutrition, and sucking down like at least a gallon of water a day. The second one is, did you connect? Studying Holy Writ every single day, no exceptions, and meditation. Now, I used to fight this whole meditation thing. Oh, I don't meditate. I ponder. I ponder and reflect. I was with my brotherhood, and one of my good friends, Kellen, said this, and I never forgot it, and I want you to get it, because if it impacts you the way it impacted me, you won't resist meditation. I resisted meditation, for so long. Oh, this is so weird. Oh, it's so lame. My mind wanders. But this is it. He says, Setema, you have a gift, and you cannot hit your highest potential unless you're meditating every single day. When you hear truth, it resonates. It speaks to your heart. You know it. Then it puts you off of the fence to two sides, and the line of demarcation is drawn. So I knew then and there, it's time to get off the fence of meditation and resisting it and meditate. So this is what it looks like. For Did You Connect? I read my Holy Writ and my books on my iPad and books in my office. And that's a 30 minutes of every day. So I can study and engage my mind in spirituality and higher purpose and meaning. And then I meditate. Meditation is really simple. You take your phone. So I'm going to show you this right here on my phone. Hopefully this will be able to catch it. Let's go to timer. And my timer right now is on. Can you see that? No, maybe not. You can't see it, too bright. 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, and this happens probably 2 to 3 times a day. Now, again, in the beginning, it was like, I'd sit at the traffic light. Okay, I meditated like 10 seconds. Come on, man. You're better than that. But now it's this. Put my timer on. I get in a position where I close my eyes, and I breathe. Now, there's an ascension model that I can take you through when you're part of the program, but it's really simple. I just close my eyes, and I don't try to like do it right or wrong, because there's no wrong or right way to do it. And I meditate every day. And the reason I have my timer on is because when my timer goes off, then I'm done. Meditation is a way to clear the space, to get grounded, it's like when your phone freezes up and you're like, come on, or the computer freezes up, we hit the reset button. Meditation for me is like that reset. Now there's 2 ways to meditate. You can meditate peacefully. And you can sit with your hands like this, like Rafiki from Lion King. I know your father. Or you can just, relax. Just find a position you can lay on the ground. I put my legs on my chair. In fact, let me just show you this real quick. So this is how I meditate. I can sit in my chair like this. And I literally go like this. I'll put my chair back, just like this. You see this right here? I'll close my eyes and I'll just breathe for 10 minutes. And if your mind wants to wander about different things, you just bring it back to your breath and focus on your breath. That allows you to focus on something. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. So what I want everyone to do right now is to do this. I want you to close your eyes with me. Now I know that your lizard brain, your ego's like, what if I'm at work? What if I'm like sitting in my car watching this? What if my family's around me? That's your lizard brain just wanting you to be small. So everyone sit with me like this. Here we go. Whether you're watching this live or watching this later, okay? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Deep breath. Exhale. Did you feel it? Because I felt it. I felt it to the point that I get tears in my eyes because it allows me to reset. Some people want to pray and some people want to plead with God. Some people want to do affirmations. I would have you consider that praying is praying and meditating is meditating. And I said earlier that there's two ways that you can meditate. First one is what I just showed you, which is just being. Essence and flow. One of my other mentors, CJ Stubbs, talks about essence and flow. When he used to say essence and flow, I used to say, what the heck are you talking about, brother? And I'm like this athlete. I'm like, who, get in the zone. Yeah, get some, baby. And then he taught me, one of my other mentors and other people in my life, that it's powerful. Did you feel it? Because I felt it. The other way to meditate, and this is called what we call meditation on steroids, is to take 5 deep breaths. I will do my meditation on steroids at the end of the day when I want to yell at my sons, because parenthood is like the ultimate battlefield, and I'm tired and I'm a little hungry and I'm dehydrated, and my boys are like, got toothpaste on the walls, and he's hitting me, he's breathing on me, stop it, blah 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 blah. And it's 9 at night, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Before, the way I do it, I'm like, boys, roar. And now, to have it all, you can't do that. To have it all means you're in control. The great Michael Jordan was probably the greatest no, there's no problem. He was the greatest. And the reason why is he was always in control of his emotions. If he was angry, it's because he chose to be angry, to fire people up, not because he lost control. So I'll do this when I come home, or if so, I see something going on outside externally, and I begin to go into what's called the drift into drama, and we'll talk about this later. I go into my meditation. And I get present. So we talked about 2 components of your daily power, rituals, routines, and rhythms. The climbing the mountain and doing what I call now core 4. Now, whatever you call it, I just use different names because sometimes I need the image of, I need to climb the mountain. I didn't climb the mountain today. Earlier this week, I didn't climb the mountain. It was pathetic, and it cost me. So you can start your day in the valley, or you can start your day in the top of the mountains, and the rest of the day is easy. So first part is in review. Did you sweat? It's exercising. Again, for some of you, a brisk walk is going to be like, woohoo! You feel good. For some of you, a brisk walk is not exercising. So push yourself. Push yourself. Then part of the exercise is green smoothies and water. So I pound a 64-ounce of green smoothie, suck down a gallon of water. So there's like 10 of these bad boys. Second part is, did you connect? So every single day, imagine what your life would look like if you studied spiritual works and works by powerful people about purpose and meaning. And as that's the 2 components. Number 1, holy study, or studying holy things. Number 2, meditation. Third part of this, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're great on time. Third part of this is this. Did you invest? Now, people often see me, and I'll see people like, then they'll kind of like joke around, did you invest? I'm like, yeah, of course I did, every day. Investing is finding two relationships, and you invest every single day. Now, people often think, well, invest, I've got to take her to a movie and take her shopping. You could. But by investing, I mean it's deliberately and intentionally investing in that relationship. Oftentimes I used to think, I need to spend like 3 hours with my boys. Well, the truth is, my boys just want me around the house. And when I'm around the house, they'll come up to me, and for about 15 to 20 minutes, they're like, Daddy, look at me. Daddy, look at me. And what I found is, when I give them concentrated effort and time and listen to them and put my Put your dang phone down. Come on, man. Put your phone down. And you just stare into their eyes and you ask them questions. Or you make them breakfast and you look at them in the eyes, you grab them by the face, you're like, I love you. You mean so much to me. You find a way every day to be deliberate about what you do with them, whether it's a bedtime ritual. Sometimes we'll watch the YouTube videos, feel-good videos, sports videos, or sometimes I'll just read to them at night. But it's investing that specific time with two specific relationships. So my first relationship is obviously my goddess, my wife. Second one is my boys. Now, this means that you're going to have to pull out your calendar and schedule specific things for your wife. So for today, my wife and I were going to go catch a movie. My wife loves movies. So I posted a video the other day that said, give your wife what she wants, or give your spouse what he or she wants. That means give them what they want. For when you give them what they want, they're happy. And then you are clear about what you want, so there's no fight. So with my wife, I schedule 2 date nights, which means babysitters. Now, one of my mentors before, I was like, oh, it's just so hard. Oh, coach, this is so hard. I don't have a babysitter. I don't know how, I mean, my family, we drop them off to my parents. And he was like, are you meaning to tell me, Setema, as a grown-ass man who runs a business, who played in the NFL, who graduated from college, who has 3 sons, you can't get a babysitter? And it was like, ding. Never thought about it. Why? Because I was being a cheap bastard. Oh, I don't want to pay a babysitter. Why the hell have you consider this? The money that I pay my babysitter now, probably pay her $100 a week, somewhere in there, $400 a month, is the best money that I can invest. Because now, when I take my wife on a date, this is why it's a power ritual. When I invest into my wife daily and take her on 1 to 2 date nights a week, because I've scheduled it before the week started on Sunday, oh, I'm going to take her out on this time, take her on this time, make sure my appointments and this, done. The money that I invest in my babysitter is the money that's being invested into my wife. Get a consistent babysitter. Have 2 to 3 on-call babysitters. So when my wife is like, hey, I need to go do this, it's not that I need to come home and watch the kids. I'm going to go produce in my job, and I can text my babysitter, said, code 9, code red, I need you at the house in 30 minutes. Yes, I can do a sweep. And I have this little app called Venmo, Venmo, where I'm like, get Venmo. As soon as they leave, I send them the money. I don't have to write a check or go get ATM money. I mean, this is about making life easier. So the date nights with my wife, 1 to 2 times a week. Men, it's time to step up and rise up. Women, time for you to step up and rise up too. So I have you consider this. Every single day, as I do things that fill my wife's emotional bucket, her spiritual bucket, her sexual bucket, her intellectual bucket, Stephen Covey calls it the emotional trust account. As I fill that thing and overflow it, well, then I'm good. And imagine if I do that every single day. Now, every day I'm not going to go out and take my wife on a date, but some days it may be a note on the whiteboard. I've got a whiteboard behind me. I've got a whiteboard in the kitchen. It may be a text message. It may be a Facebook message. It may be a Facebook voice message. What's up, baby? Just want to let you know I love you. You are so damn sexy. I love you. Some days it may be a handwritten note, a flower, but it's got to be every day. Intentional and deliberate. See, if you're going to have it all, if you're going to be in the revolution, as a warrior in the revolution, to be a contributor, not a taker, to have so much money because you've created so much value for others. So now you can turn around and use money as a tool to help other people. And you're going to live your highest purpose and being. If you're going to have it all, you better increase your capacity. The way you increase your capacity is by doing your daily power rituals, climbing the mountain, core 4 experience every single day. This gives you power. So when I'm in my business meetings, traveling for work, my mind is not in erosion mode where I'm like, oh, my boys miss me. Oh, my wife, I didn't give her enough time. Oh, man, blah, blah, blah. And then you're looking down at your stomach. You're like, oh, I'm so out of shape. What's my purpose in life? Oh, man. Because if you just do your core 4 every single day, did you sweat? Exercise, green smoothies, nutrition, not negotiable every single day. Number 2, did you connect? Reading holy spiritual works that can be inspiring in your mind and inspire you. And meditating, whether you want to call it clearing the space, getting in the gap, hitting the reset button, just clearing the noise in this place that we live in, constantly on our phones. Like, turn your phones off. Metaphorically speaking, meditate. Third thing, did you invest? Now, I know when I'm in California for a week, I gave my boys so much that when I'm gone, I don't have to be like, oh, am I going to have time with my boys? And here's something I'd have you consider. You invest every day in those relationships, they will be there to support you when you need it. And investing is not a two-way thing. It's not me going and buying flowers for my wife and waiting for her to say, well, I bought you flowers, baby. Aren't you going to say thank you? It's a one-way deposit. Again, this is all things that I've learned from my different coaches. So again, my coaching is so powerful because it helps you to level up every part of your life. And as I invest and with that one-way deposit, I'm not waiting for the receipt. If my boys and my wife never say thank you, that's okay. It's just my job to know that I'm putting money into that account, money by emotional, spiritual, physical, social, intellectually. So did you sweat? Did you connect? Did you invest? And imagine what your business would look like when you knew for certain that every day you go to work, you don't have to worry about, I'm not giving my wife and kids, I'm not giving my family enough time, because you've scheduled the date nights. You scheduled the times to invest. A 15-minute conversation when my son was in school, I take him to school. It's about a 10-minute drive. Once a week, we'd go to Neater's for breakfast. Neater's here in Utah is like the most fabulous French toast and pancakes. And I'm always looking at his French toast like, man, that looks so good. We do that once a week, but in the mornings, most of the times we just talk and I'd ask him questions. That was my investing with him. Then I'd pick him up and how was your day? Instead of listening to music, we'd listen to music sometimes, but I could utilize the time in the car, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes after school, time at home to just connect with my son. I don't want to be the father who takes my son to school, to college, even to high school, and he looks at me with that look like, who the hell are you? Like, you're the guy that, yeah, let's put food on my table. The days of just providing, those were like the 50s and 60s, like the Leave It to Beaver days. Like, sweet, I'm going to put bread on the table and that's it. Well, Leave It to Beaver, he was actually a pretty good dad in the movie, so I can't use that as an example. But those days are done. So did you sweat? Did you connect? And did you invest? Then the fourth part of my daily core 4 is really simple. We'll review this up and we'll answer questions for those of you who have questions. Is did you collect? Did you collect? As an entrepreneur, you cannot have it all if you don't have money come into your bank account. Because then it puts you in a mode of scarcity where it's, I don't have enough money. And then your mind goes from, instead of focusing on creating value for others, increasing your personal value, which is increasing your skill set and your capacity, instead of having your focus on that so you can contribute and create value and have dollars follow the value through your marketing system, sales skills, you're like, I got bills to pay. I got bills to pay. And you go into scarcity mode. When you're in scarcity mode, you're not in production mode. It's like the athlete who's like, oh, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to lose, versus the athlete who's like, I'm going to win this sucker. So did you collect? Again, same thing as everyone else. There's 2 components. 2 components. How many? 2. And that is this. Number 1, you study whatever field that you're in. That's what you study every day. Now, I know this sounds weird. With graduation, the time that this is being filmed, my Facebook is filled with pictures of people graduating, lays up to their heads, and graduation parties that we're like, okay, this weekend's going to be crazy because we're going to be at like multiple graduation parties supporting our kids, our youth. But consider this. If you read every single day, every day, for 30 minutes on a specific craft or skill or attribute, you would become master of that within no time. Now I'm going to show you this. I'm going to see if my phone can do it here. On my phone, people are like, that means I have to read a book? Yes, that means you have to read a book every day. Now, when you implement this, so right now I'm reading a book called on my phone, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. But if you can see this, can you see that kind of? Let's see if I can make this work. So these are all the books that I'm reading, and you can't really see it, so no big deal. Nope, that doesn't work either. My point is this. Buy the books, get the ebooks, and read them. Study them. If you want to have it all in your body, your spirituality, your relationships, and your bank account, that's the modern day warrior of living in this revolution of waking up from bondage. You've got to increase your capacity. To increase your capacity requires you to have the power, rituals, routines, and rhythms, the climbing the top of the mountain experience every morning, what's called core 4 now for me. And I know if I can hit my core 4, which is so simple, I get there. So I study what did you collect every day. How often? Every day. Only the days you want power is the days you do it. So as you can see here in my office, I've got some books over here. Got dozens upon dozens of books on my iPad, on my iPhone, on my Kindle app. And the second part is doing what's required to bring you money. And when I used to knock doors, the only way to make money as a door-to-door salesman was having a conversation, being inside someone's home, showing them the value of why it was a great idea to have a system and to pay the monthly fee to have protection. That was the only way I would make money. They'd sign up, we'd install it, and then I'd get paid a week later. And then I'd get paid out towards the end of the summer. We call it a back end. But some guys get this funny. They're like, I'm going to study, and I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do all these things, and maybe money will just come into my life. You must do the required, necessary actions to create the intended result, which means you got to collect. For me and my job, it's having conversations and showing people the value of what I can do for them, and then them saying, hey, I want in. And then I send them a link, or they give me their credit card over the phone, and then I get paid. You must get paid. You must learn how to understand what money really is, and then get paid every day. Now, if you're not getting paid every day, you can obviously get paid in chunks and volumes, but consider this. If you're the person who says, well, I don't need to make a lot of money, well, that's fine for you. That works for you, great. The revolution that I'm leading, the Warrior Brotherhood, the entrepreneurs, business owners who want to be conscious creators, not just creators by default, because let's be real, you are always creating. Always. You're either creating mediocrity and junk and stuff that some people like, or you're creating consciously powerful results. Always. So those who are called to live in the revolution, we need to have it all, which means I got to make money. I have to make money. I get it. People from the seminars, you don't have to do anything, Setema. Well, guess what? I get that. But no, I have to make money. Why? So I can contribute. Why? So I can take my wife out on a date. Why do I take my wife out on dates? So I can make more money. Why do I do that? So I can spend more time with my kids. Why do I do that? So I can work out. Why do I work out? So I can have more power. Why do I want more power? So I can produce amazing, real, radical results. Let's just review the core 4 real quick, and then we'll open it for questions. Really simple. If you want to have power every single day, power and certainty, and produce real radical results, it's going to require you to get into a place of power, and you do that by creating favorable conditions, what I call my daily power, rituals, routines, and rhythms. Daily power, rituals, routines, and rhythms. I know it's like a tongue twister, but it makes sense to me. Some people may call it the climbing to the top of the mountain. So you have a top of the mountain experience in the morning. So the rest of the day, you're on fire. Literally. No pun intended for Moses being on fire. And if you do your core 4, you climb the mountain, your daily power, rituals, routines, and rhythms, every single day, guess what? You have power every single day. Now some people say, that sure seems like a lot of stuff to do, Setema. Well, only if you want power. So you only do your core 4 on the days you want power. If you don't want power and you just want to say, screw it, I'm going to sit in my bed and watch reruns of Law and Order every single day, brum, brum, and watch CSI and all those other crazy shows, which kind of scare me, even though I'm a big dude. I'm like, change the channel, it's kind of scary. People killing each other. If you want to do that and just sit in your bed all day, then be conscious and say, I just don't want to have power today. And that's fine. Even on vacation, I find a way to meditate and to exercise. And I used to wonder, people on vacation, they're exercising? I don't get that. Now I get it. People on vacation, they're reading by the pool. I don't get that. Now I get it. So here's the review. Number one, did you sweat? Every single day, you're going to exercise. And you're going to do something with your nutrition. For some of you, the nutrition is different. But nutrition is not negotiable. So exercise and nutrition. Done. Activate the endorphins. Second question, did you connect? That's going to be studying powerful spiritual works that help you to dive into your purpose and remind you of who you are. And the great things that have happened for people in the past who put their trust in God or in the higher being or whatever you say and call it. Did you connect this study and meditation? Study, meditation, got that out. Next piece, did you invest? First relationship, second relationship. First relationship for me is my wife. Second relationship for me is my boys. I know as I focus on those relationships and do it right, which means for date nights, I hire my babysitter. And then do the date nights. You'd be surprised at what happens. A true story, I was just talking with somebody the other day, been married for about 5 years. He's like, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to go on dates. I just feel like I'm just like, we're just partners. We're just like roommates. I'm like, I know. The majority of men and women married today are just roommates living in the same room, maybe not even sleeping in the same bed, raising kids. And when the kids leave, they look at each other and like, who are you again? And then this is where infidelity and cheating and affairs come into play. Look, focus on the relationships that you want to grow. Water what you want to grow. So to be deliberate in action and planning, hire your babysitters. Yes, pay some money for babysitters. So you don't have to be like, we got to get back. We got to get back to our kids. The babysitter's like, where are you? No, babysitters are like, cool, I'm going to play my phone and get paid all day. I'm going to put the kids to rest. And I have my babysitter cleans my house for me. If we have some dishes, she'll clean it. And she does enough, so it's worth it. Date nights, daily investments, daily investments, daily investments, daily investments with the kids. I can promise you this, as a male modern warrior entrepreneur today, if you want to have it all, you have it all today. You don't wait till you've made your money before you go in. I'm now going to invest in my kids. They're 15 years old, and we got all the money we want. By that time, they're going to be like, who the hell are you? I don't even know you, Dad. Go read a book by Clay Christensen called How Will You Measure Your Life? How Will You Measure Your Life? Phenomenal read. He talks about this very principle in detail. You can't put off investing today for later because you cannot reap where you have not sown. So did you invest? One relationship, two relationships. How often? Every single day. I got that. The final piece is your business. Did you collect? Did you collect? Now, you may not have collected money, but did you take steps to be able to collect powerfully money? Because if your bank account is dry, I can promise you this. This idea of having it all, living a life of freedom and of love, declaration and power and possibility is a pipe dream. So your bank account needs to be put in check, which means you have to make X amount, live beneath your means. And some people are like, that's scarcity. No, it's not. If you want to live within your means, go make $1 million so then you can spend now $200 or $300, $200 or $300,000. If you make 50,000, well, it's simple. Make 50,000, spend this much. The in between is what you save and what you invest and what you utilize to build your wealth and build your empire. Did you collect every single day? That's going to consist of studying and doing the necessary required actions that would get you paid. As a door-to-door salesman, it was knocking on doors, having the conversation. If you're a business owner, well, that's going to probably include marketing, having customers walk into your brick and mortar business, learning how to have a conversation to get them to say, how much do I pay you? I want to pay you. I was talking with a trainer the other day, and we had a powerful conversation about this. And I said, well, what's your process? He's like, well, this is my process. And I said, well, have you considered trying it like this? He's like, hold on. Gets his paper, and he's like writing notes down. Made a big difference. Now he can shift that so as more people come in, he can actually close them or get them to agree to come and pay him because they want his value. Now, my brothers and sisters, this is the daily power, rituals, routines, and rhythms that I do how often? Every single day. Every day. Every day. Only on the days that you want what? Power. If you don't want power that day, well, don't do your core four. Now, the way the core four will wrap this up, and then we'll open it up for questions, is simply this. That which you cannot measure and can't be tracked, you can't improve on it. So this is a really easy tracking system. In fact, I'm glad I got my board here. We'll see if this even works on the board. So, okay, yeah, here we go. So did you sweat? That's an S. You basically, you get a half a point for exercise, and you get a half a point for your nutrition. And it's a yes or no. Did I drink my green smoothie, or did I follow my meal plan? Did I drink my gallon of water? Whatever it is. This equals 1 point. The next part is, did you connect? And yes, you're right. Can you see that? You get a half a point for one and a half a point for the other. You get a half a point for studying for 30 minutes a day, and you get a half a point for meditation. That's going to equal 1 point. And you're starting to see the pattern here. Did you invest? You get a half a point for one relationship that day and a half a point for the other relationship that day, which means you're going to have to become deliberate, intentional, plan things out so it doesn't make a text message every day. It gets boring. Come on, man, mix it up. That's going to equal 1 point. And the final component of this is, did you collect? Oops. And yep, you got it. You get a half point for studying your skill set, your craft, every single day. How often? Every single day. And then you get a half point for collecting or having a sales conversation or generating leads for your business or whatever it is that's going to bring you the results. Now consider this. 1 point plus 1 point plus 1 point plus 1 point equals 4. In a week, the score is now 28. So we have shirts coming out that say 28 or die. 28 or die. This is how you can measure and track it. Did I do it? Now we have a whole tracking system, Excel spreadsheet, and those are for the people that join the program. Makes it simple. When you're part of a group of brothers and sisters who are like, I am committed to leveling up my life, to getting unstuck, to pushing off the bad habits and addictions so that I can have it all and create real radical results. Real radical results is like real money in your account, like real muscles, and you can feel your heart and your lungs stronger. You can feel energy without having to go, I'll take 10 5-hour energies in a 6-pack of Red Bull and let me go drink 20 cups of coffee. Just, you don't need that stuff anymore. When you do the core 4, you begin to live on natural fruit, natural energy. So here it is. Did you sweat? Did you connect? Did you invest? And did you collect? And you do this every single day. You keep track 4 every day. And if you do your core 4 every day, which is like Moses climbing to the top of the mountain to have an experience in the morning. Yes, in the morning. Now you can do your core 4 at night, but what's the point? I want to show up in my day. You want to show up in your day with power and certainty so that you can be complete and whole and perform like the greatest athletes in the world. And you can do that if you'll do your what? Core 4, climb the mountains, daily power routines, rituals, and rhythms, because it creates favorable conditions for you. Now the only question is this: can you do it? And that's not even the question, because that's a BS question. Can you do it? Of course you can. The real question is, will you do it? Will you do it? Now I get it. In the beginning, it may seem hard. You know how easy it is to go and drink water, make your green smoothie, get your exercise in, write a love note to your loved one, or shoot a video. Try this for a week. Shoot a video every day and just say, baby, I love you. Now, this is how you shoot videos, okay? Everyone wants to see how I shoot videos. Watch this. I'm going to post this, okay? Here's my iPhone. Ready? Let's see if you guys can see here. Ready? Here we go. What up, everyone? Setema Gali, the Reverend of the Revolution, coming to you from my home office, where I'm doing a Google Hangout here to everyone. Say, what up, everyone? Well, we're talking about the Daily Core 4. Now, this message is really going to go to my wife because I told the people on camera, you ought to shoot a video to your wife. So my wife, my lover, I love you. I'm sorry about the miscommunication today. I hope you know how much I love you. And I'm looking forward to our date this afternoon. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? I love you. Have an incredible day. Thanks for taking care of our boys, and thanks for doing our laundry, which we had a ton from our vacation in Laguna Beach last week. And I love you. I appreciate you, and I honor you and respect you. And respect is an action, so you better show it when you say it. It's just not like, I respect you, but you're still a douchebag. I love and respect you. I'm taking you out. So that's it. I love you, baby, and I'll see you. Now I'm going to send this video to my wife with a little love note that says, I love you. Watch the video now. See, that's how you do that every single day. If you'll do these things every single day, you get power. Only do these things on the day that you want power, my friends. Only on the days you want power. Because I can promise you, if you'll show up in power, you will perform and create results that most people won't create. Why? Because they are not willing to climb that mountain. People give up. People perform in mediocrity. And this is why while other people sit on the fence and sit on the bench and sit in the stands, those of us warriors and brothers in the revolution are creating and declaring independence and freedom. Freedom from slavery and bondage and financial poverty, and freedom from overweight and obesity. Freedom from the things that would hold us back from fulfilling our highest purpose in life. Now, if you're the person who feels stuck, or you're the person who makes good money, but one part of your life is not where it needs to be, and you're the person who says, hey, you know what? I would love to be part of Core 4, and I would love to be part of the revolution. I want more in my life. I want to have accountability, and I would love to be part of a group of people who have chosen, who have declared that they will create their highest purpose and live it today, not in 2 weeks, not in 6 months. If you're that person, well, there's a link over here to your right that says click to apply now. I have a program where I actually mentor people how to increase their personal power. Today's discussion was just one of many, giving you the tools and the resources to level up every part of your life, not just the money. There's coaches out there who will teach you how to make money, but money doesn't do you any good if your stomach's hanging over your belt, if you can't even breathe by playing with your children, and you feel ashamed and embarrassed because you don't look like the person you want to look like. And a healthy body doesn't make sense if your wife or spouse is leaving you because you're a total douchebag and you haven't invested in your children. Your children are like, oh yeah, I think that's my dad, but no, he's just my dad. If you want to be the person that's like, man, my kids love me, and I love my kids, and I love my spouse, and I'm making the steps to bring more money into my account so I can be a contributor and I can give and do the things I truly want to do that make me happy. And your meaning and purpose in life is centered and focused and grounded because you're doing the daily discipline. My brothers and sisters, that is what the revolution is about. So if you're that person who wants help to level up, to have accountability and access and association, I invite you to go ahead and apply now. You and I would have a conversation on the phone, and we'd see if there was a good fit. The program is simple. I work with highly committed people, and obviously you're on this hangout, so you're obviously a person looking for help. But I said I would train, and that's my training. That's my Core 4. This is what I do every single day to create power. And when you do the Core 4, climbing the mountain, the daily routines, rhythms, rituals, you, my friend, will dominate your industry and dominate the competition because most people won't do these things that we're doing. Now, let me share this as well. There's a principle in Scripture that says, by small and simple things, great things are brought to pass. This is so simple. If all I did was my Core 4 every day, I could do the rest of what I wanted to do powerfully. There's nothing worse than like, gotta go make money, but dang it, I got in a fight with my spouse, or I'm so tired, give me some more 5-hour energies and Red Bulls and rock stars because I didn't sleep and I don't exercise and I'm out of shape. But let me see if I can just make more money to fill the gap. The more money won't. This is leveling up in every part of your life, the physical, the spiritual, the relationships. business. Small and simple. Brothers and sisters, this is simple stuff. Simple. Now, like in the scriptures, there's a man who's like had the skin disease, and he's like, hey, I know this man can heal me. So he goes, and he does. The king won't even, the prophet won't even see him. He's just like, go bathe in the river. And he gets mad. He's like, that's it? And the manservant says, if he would have told you to do something great, wouldn't you have done it? And he's like, yeah. He's giving you something so simple. No different than the people, children of Israel, who were bitten by the flying serpents, who are now poisoned. And the Lord says, you know what, Moses? Take a serpent, place it on a staff. So let's just say, like, this is my serpent. There's my serpent, right? Place it on a staff and tell the people to look. And if they will look, they will live. Just look and live. And many people perished because of the easiness of the way. It's too easy. They're like, no, it's got to be something more. It's simple. Core 4, climb the mountain every single day. How often? Every single day. And only on days that you want power is when you do your core 4, climbing the mountain, daily power, ritual, routine, and rhythm. If you'll do it, you'll witness the power. Jesus even taught, if any man will do his will, the Father's will, he'll know the doctrine, which meant you had to do it. So here's my invitation to you. Call to action is really simple. For those of you who want more help and support in leveling up every part of your life, this is just the beginning. There's a button on this page somewhere that's going to say click to apply now, or click to join, or click to apply, or I want in, and whatever the button's going to be when we make this page, and click on it right now and fill out an application. I have a program where I coach people. It's a powerful introductory program that allows people to unstuck themselves, to begin to move forward, to have the association with like-minded, powerful people, to have access to the group because the group becomes the guru, to have action because now you're locked arms in and there's an accountability. So again, click on the button now and apply to be part of the program. Does it cost money? Yes. But it won't cost you anything if you don't qualify to be part of the program. Because once again, I only work with highly committed people who want to create powerful results in the private, personal, and professional lives. Now at this time, do the simple work. Do the simple work. Look and live. Look and live. Do your core 4 every day. And if you do these things, at first it's going to be hard. You're like, oh, this is a lot of stuff. But just keep track. 0.5, check. 0.5, check. There's 1 point. 4 points every day. 7 times 4, 7 days in a week is 28. It's 28 or die. I've had a couple people ask me questions, which I'm now going to open up for more questions. If you have a question, you can Facebook message me, Setema Gali. So let's go to the question portion here for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and let's just see what people are saying and asking. Okay, first question. Holy smokes. Setema, how do I overcome a fear of rejection when approaching new customers? How do I overcome a fear of rejection when approaching new customers? Great question. Probably a salesman, or for most of us, we're all businessmen, salesmen. So here's the question. How do I overcome fear of rejection when approaching the new customers? Here we go. Number 1, do your core 4 every day. Climb the mountain every day. Have a top of the mountain experience every day. There's your first one. Now, if you do that, then I'd answer the question, which is this. If you don't do that, whatever I tell you won't matter. Because I'll tell you what to do and how to do it, and guess what? You're going to shrink and contract because you didn't do the core 4. You haven't created favorable conditions for you to get into the zone to perform at that level. So I'm going to tell you how to do it. But even though I tell you how to do it, I know right now this is a matter of power and certainty. The way you increase your power and certainty is your daily routines and rhythms and rituals, climbing to the top of the mountain, what we call core 4. Perfect score every day consistently. Now here's the answer once you've got that down. This is just a matter of simply this. What are you afraid of? Like, come on, man. What is it? What are you really afraid of? And if you'll just ask that question, what is it that I'm really afraid of? Rejection. Okay, what is it? What is rejection? People say no to me. Okay. And what is so wrong with that? They said no to me. Okay. Are you still alive? Are you still breathing? Okay. And as you attack or embrace and ask these questions, you'll realize that you are making up a story. You're making up and creating a story to keep you small. Because consider this. The only way to get really good at approaching customers is to do what? Is to approach customers. Consider the guy that's like, Setema, I'm so afraid of women. I'm so afraid of women. I'm single, I want to get married. I'm like, well, how many women have you approached in the last 30 days? Duh, none. So I coach him up and I help him to see this. If you were to approach 250 women, again, for my single brothers, married brothers, not for you. Maybe you need to approach your wife. If you were to approach 250 women in the next 60 days, that's like 4 a day. And just approach them. At first, you suck. And your mind's playing games. Oh, I'm so afraid of rejection. What is she going to say? What is she going to think of me? It doesn't matter what she thinks of you. The whole point is you got to get better. The path to get better is failure. No, failure not meaning you suck and you're a failure, just meaning, okay, you figured out that you've got to level up in this thing. So how do you overcome the fear of approaching new customers? Go and be who you need to be, and then you'll do what you need to do because you'll realize this is the only way to get better at approaching customers. I saw this with my door-to-door reps. The ones who are so afraid of rejection, they would never knock the doors. The problem is because they'd never knock the doors, they'd never create the experience. And because they never had the experience, they never would increase and expand their skills. And when they never expanded their skills, they still sucked at door approaches as a door-to-door salesman. Same thing with single guys and women. They're 30 years old. They're like, oh, I'm so afraid to approach women. I'm like, dude, quit being a freaking pussycat and go approach. If you'll just do this, go do 250 approaches to women, single women, and practice. Come back and we practice and we critique it, we create it, and we talk about certainty and what you really have to offer. You eradicate media. Yes, I can go into all the details, but the real fact is simply this. Your mind is currently making up a story about rejection, and you don't like that, but it's being made up, so you live it and validate it. The truth is, ready? The truth will set you free, is what Jesus taught. And if you'll stop lying to yourself about rejection and just say, here's your question again. How do I overcome fear of rejection when approaching customers? You're ready? You do your core 4 daily to get into power and certainty. You remember exactly who you are and what your purpose is. And you understand not every customer is going to say yes. So yeses lives in the land of no's. So the more no's that you get, the more yeses that you'll find. As you expand your capacity, your sales conversation, your communication, you get more yeses because you understand this game of prospecting and of questioning, reading people's micro expressions. But the bottom line, simple answer is go approach 250 customers. Get on the phone and call people. Now it's going to require competency. So as you do 5 calls, you realize your 5 approaches, and you come back to your coach and you say, what worked, what didn't work, how can I improve that? Then you practice, and you go try to the next 5 to 10, 20 people. Then you practice, course correct, what did I do well, what could I have done better, what's the one thing I'm facing in my conversations, how can I overcome that objection? Sweet. Practice. Do you see the cycle and the pattern here? It's really simple. Like, it's so crazy simple. But human beings, like the people in scriptures, that's just too simple. That's just dumb. I'm going to go find a better way to do it. So there's that question right there. Great question. And if you have more questions, just keep sending these bad boys in. Okay, next question. It's a long one. Let me just read it, and I'll paraphrase it. Okay. Person loses everything. Bankrupt. It's like me. Confidence is still in the gutter, in the toilet. And the question is like, how do I get out of this? Now, my heart goes out to people who ask this question, because I was there. Selling the Super Bowl ring, selling the wife's wedding ring, bankrupt, proud of my EBT card. I was like, man, I never thought I'd be in this position. How do you pull yourself out? Well, there's a few things. Go and start doing core 4. It's really simple. Surround yourself with people who are powerfully, highly committed, whether it's a church group or a mastermind or a movement or a mentorship. That's one thing that's going to be powerful. See, when you're on your own, what happens most people when they begin to lose everything and they lose their confidence, instead of like going out and reaching out to people and say, I need help. What do most of us human beings do? What do all of us human beings do? We shrink. And we don't get on Facebook, and we don't go to church, and we don't go to the gym, and we just pretend our lives are good, and people are like, hey, how you doing? And we're like, everything's fine. All the while in your heart, you're dying. So this is going to be your choice. My brother, my sister, whoever asked this question, how did you do it, Setema? How did you pull yourself out? Number one, I kept praying to God. Number two, I got up off my knees and I got committed. And number three, I went and did the freaking work. Now, the work may be reading books. The work may be going to get a job, getting active again, going to the gym. Core 4, there it is again. And then I went and surrounded myself with people who could lift me up. Like, this is why a daily church is a weekly church meeting is so powerful. Throughout the week, people show up to church and then they're like, sweet, this is fellowship. People come to church starving spiritually. They want to be fed. So the people who are spiritually strong, they can lift each other. And there's days when you will be a beacon of light, that city on the hill that cannot be hid, that when the light hits you, you shine it on the path to help other people if you feel that's your calling, which is my calling, to preach a message of freedom and liberation, waking up, rising up to your highest human potential, turning that potential into productive, powerful, real radical results, living and creating your highest purpose, and loving your life. That's my calling. So if you're in that position, some days you're going to be the person helping people. Other times you will be the person who's like, I need help. And this can happen multiple times through the day. My invitation would be this. My invitation would simply be this. Keep praying and then get to work. Like, it's not going to happen. Like sitting in your bedroom, being depressing. No one's going to come up and write you a check for like $100,000. But even if they did, it wouldn't do any good because you're not being who you need to be to continue to progress. So do the work. Keep praying. You already know what you need to do, and go do it. Like, go do it. Core 4 is a great way to start. Begin to do those daily power rituals and routines and rhythms that create favorable conditions for you to be powerful and certain. Okay. Great question. And let's take one more here. Okie dokie. Setema. Okay. We summarize the question. Setema, my marriage is suffering because I don't spend enough time basically at home. How do I overcome this with my wife and help her to see blah, blah, blah. It's basically, it's the man's dilemma. And here it is. You ready? Climb the mountain every day. See, what your wife wants is not someone to be there with her every hour of the day. That's not what she wants. And that's not what you want. As a man, we have been created to go, by the sweat of our brow, go provide and preside and protect our families, which means we're going to leave our families during the day to go work. And we're going to go interact with other adults. So my brother who asked this question, this is my same dilemma that I was in quite some time ago. Figure out exactly what your wife wants. Tell her exactly what you want, and give her exactly what she wants. Now, when you ask her, hey, baby, what do you want? Her first answer, the first answer of all human beings is never the right answer. Never. It's be yes. So find out exactly what she wants and give it to her. It may be just when you come home. For some, they want you to help with the dishes and the laundry and dinner. For some, they want you to help changing diapers and putting the kids to bed. For some, they just like, can you please take me on a date? Can you please touch me like you used to touch me and rub my back and whisper in my ear and tell me that you love me and make me feel sexy again? I mean, you've got to find out what it is that your wife really wants. And if you'll do that on a day-to-day basis, climbing the mountain, daily power, ritual, routine, rhythm, and core 4, all the same thing. Every day, your marriage will transform. You will not transform it by you sitting on the sideline, sitting on the bench, and sitting on the stands. So my brother, do your core 4. This whole thing's about power rituals that put you in a place of power and certainty. My brothers and sisters, I thank you for being on the call today or on the hangout. I know it's been powerful because I've learned something as I've been on this side teaching. And I know if I've learned something, I have no doubt that if you go now and be a doer of the word, as Jesus taught, be a doer and implement this, you'll have power results every single day. You're going to suck at first. We all suck when we first do something, or most of us do. But as you do it, your capacity increases and you get better. There's a button that says click to apply now. I would invite you, if you feel so called to do, to join a group of highly committed entrepreneurs and powerful men and women who want to create powerful results in their personal and professional lives. Click to apply to be part of the group. It's a mentorship, which then turns into a mastermind, which is about a movement. The movement is you having it all. And you can. And I know it because I'm creating that right now in my life. I love you. I'm going to remind you that if you want to create the life that you love, and I mean love, it will require you to get into a relentless pursuit with a ruthless commitment to paying the piper to get to the top of your mountain where your prize and your promised land awaits you. I love you. I'm here for you. Click the button, apply now to be part of the group, and it will be an incredible journey as we take you through a process of coaching, mentorship, confronting, and creating the results that you want to have in your life today. Whether it's more money, more spirituality, more powerful relationships, more connection and spirituality. This is Setema Gali signing off. I love you. Have a great day today.